We are live here from Toronto for the Summer Showdown tournament. We've already had 2 banging games so far. And now we have the Vancouver Titans and the San Francisco Shock.
Oh, we got another Canadian team. Hopefully they can bring a dub home today. But what a beautiful city to have a LAN in. Like, can I move here?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to move here? Permanently?
As soon as we got here, not gonna lie, first day, I was like, wow, so what's rent like? Expensive? Can I get a Canadian visa, please? Cast some Overwatch for you, don't mind.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it'll be a great time. At least we get a chance to do it here. This is what could have been at the kickoff clash, but we at least finally get to do it now. So pretty pumped.
Live in person, it's going to be it's going to be a good time. San Francisco Shock and the Vancouver Titans. Like Puckett said on the desk, 2 teams that have had quite the history together. However, different looks from both squads. An extremely different look from the Vancouver Titans, making it their first tournament and even finding their first wins in the qualifiers.
They were undefeated for a period of time this season. Pretty cool that they ended up getting 3 consecutive wins in their qualifier matches leading up to this point.
It's ridiculous. Like, who'd have thought, who could have predicted you come into a tournament and the Vancouver Titans are on that list? But, like, you got to look at the backroom staff. A lot of people have been talking about people like DPay coming in and shaping the roster to what it is now. They came in with 3 wins, but small problem. They are facing the San Francisco Shock as their first game.
Yeah, I mean, that's a rough one. Anybody that rolls the San Francisco Shock, I think, definitely is quaking in their boots just a little bit. I mean, they were undefeated, 17 wins in a row for qualifiers just this season, and it's just so impressive. I know that streak just got cut short, but they're still here at LAN, and they've got a chance to prove themselves again on a stage like this.
Oh, your second Canadian team is about to play. Let's bring him on the stage. A team that has had a better comeback than Elvis. It's the Vancouver Titans. Like you said, a crazy turnaround, Rose, for this organization. They do have a tough opponent to go up against, but on LAN, it can be a very different beast. San Francisco Shock know that all too well.
I mean, they might have the Canadian buff here. You can hear the crowd going wild for this team. And, you know, the Titans, they definitely can prove themselves here once again that they deserve this spot in the Summer Showdown. And honestly, Jack, I have no idea what to expect because even the first 2 matches, that first match today between Washington, like that was a 5-map series. Maybe we get the same here.
We very well could do. I mean, look, we've had some 2 crazy games, some crazy Preds. Scott being the only one right now with 2-0 on the desk. It must feel pretty good. There's your lineup to start. You already saw him come out on the stage with Spire, King, Mira, Aztec, and Marsa. It's the lineup they've been running for all of their wins in recent memory. Aspire's Sojourn has just been such a blowout for some of their games. He's just taken over. And King, too, a relatively new addition to the roster.
Yeah, King's Genji in specific has just been a really nice glue for the team, and I think alongside that addition, plus DPay's coaching, coming in as head coach for the Vancouver Titans, we have seen a pretty big turnaround for this team. But, I mean, again, a tough opponent for them today.
I think we better bring him out. Please welcome to the stage a team that needs no real introduction, the San Francisco Shock. Of course, there's going to be a couple of boos. We're still in front of a Canadian crowd, but Shock, just an unbelievable season thus far. Have only recently just found their first loss against the Dallas Fuel.
Right.
But against the Vancouver Titans, a team that they ended up picking, might be easy pickings after this.
Maybe. I mean, you still have to look at their most recent performances on LAN. I mean, in the kickoff clash, they went in as the #1 seed, ended up in 4th place, and that was a disappointing performance from them. You look at maybe some of the new content that they've come out with, like the Aftershock, and they are definitely hungry to prove themselves in this environment.
Yeah, it is crazy. They're hungry to prove themselves, not like they haven't done that already, but you're thinking back to the first LAN that we had in the year, We're like, wow, they're undefeated coming in. Surely they're the favorites to win, and they were on the first day, and then they ended up just falling by the wayside. Teams like Gladiators and Dallas Fuel, who ended up showing up.
I mean, they seem way more centered this time around, though. You can see the confidence that this team has had throughout the course of qualifiers leading up to this point. And despite the loss against the Dallas Fuel, I feel like this is the type of team that when they take a loss, they come back even stronger. So I'm expecting them to be in top condition today.
Oh, most definitely. It's worth keeping in mind, too, a lot of the Korean rookies that have come into the Overwatch League have had a fair bit of experience on LAN before. In Korean contenders, they've just started having some of their LANs back, or at least in-person events. It's been a bit patchy, but that's just the times that we do live in. So you'd expect people like Proper and Kilo, who didn't have a strong showing at the kickoff clash, to come in. Like you said, they are very hungry. The Titans have surprised everybody, though, Rose.
They have, and I think we have to look at the fact that Aspire in a lot of the recent matches so far on the Sojourn has been able to secure first picks time and time again, and it's every single one of those Sojourn picks that has really allowed the Vancouver Titans to capitalize on that and get those team fight wins.
It's worth pointing out who chooses what map.
Oh, that's true.
It is loser picks, but the San Francisco Shock, because they come in at a higher seed, they end up picking first. So they've decided to take us to Lijiang Tower.
And Lijiang is definitely the map we would have expected the San Francisco Shock to come out swinging on, because they have an undefeated record on this map so far this season, 7-0. This might be a tough one, but at least this is a good litmus test for how the Vancouver Titans can perform against the Shock today.
First map. What can the Titans really prove? It's an upward hill battle, and you mentioned at the very top, right, that DPay comes in, wants to be realistic about the expectations for the team. You know you're going against the Shock. Like, it's going to be hard, yes. Maybe they're expecting to make a lower bracket run, but Aspire King, they could come out and show us something crazy. Although you are against Proper, Rookie of the Year candidate, MVP of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely nailed that story home. But I think one thing that you really want to look out for right now is really how King on the Genji is going to interact with Kilo, that's going to be playing that hit scan role for the San Francisco Shock. We have seen Kilo kind of flip between the Sojourn and the Ashe, and those definitely play a different role in how you end up dealing with that oppressive Genji that King is going to have.
All right, TP out from both teams. Let's see who gets where. Oh, that's like a little shield bash across the leg. Kind of dangerous. So, yeah, it's kind of cute. Dangerous, though, against the Lucio on the other side. So, yeah, you got to be careful. All right, Proper doing what they do best. The Savages Shock doing what they do best in running on forward, but Kalush not getting healed up in time, and Aspire with one of his trademark first bloods. And then Masa boops Kilo. Okay, this is what the Canadian crowd want to see, that's for sure. Vancouver Titans, even though they lose Master, ending up winning in that first fight and getting the cap.
That's perfect timing right now, but it looks like we've got a little bit of a pause here. We just end up maybe needing to take a look at some things real quick, but I think that with the pressure that Masa put onto the Shock, not only was it Aspire getting that opening pick like we expect to see from this team, but they capitalized on it. Masa getting super, super aggressive there.
Maybe his keyboard disconnected.
Oh, yeah, no, they can't play the game without the keyboard.
Stuck holding W. Oh. That's why he died.
That's what it is.
Rough.
Masa couldn't go backwards.
But it also wouldn't be a pause without us casting it. So.
And we are cursed.
I know, it sucks. Kalush says R in the lobby, so hopefully we'll be getting into game in just a moment. Not sure who called for the pause, but they're just checking if Vancouver are also ready. Man, Seth's not even casting this tournament, and he's...
he's still cursing.
God. Okay, Master's also ready. Okay, and Kalush asking why I got headshot.
Rip.
Because Aspire good aim, maybe?
I think that's what it is. Amazing. Has to be. No, or just, Kalush is so tall. So maybe that height has transferred over to the Junker Queen in game.
I mean, Junker Queen's pretty tall in game too.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
All right, we're unpausing. We're getting back into it.
Let's go.
Okay. All right, Vancouver Titans, they do lose Master, but look, capping the point first. Let's see how that ended up working out. Oh, yeah, so Master with a little, playing a little bit of funny. You take that though, you get a double kill, you get some extra ult charge, you die, your Lucio come back fast.
I mean, look at that right now. Masa, I mean, he's definitely keeping up with Violet right now. Violet has been one of the biggest ult charge Lucios in this meta.
Masa trying something for a little bit funky again. But look at that, the San Francisco Shock just charge forwards, mirroring their sights. Just doesn't really know what hit him. The Vancouver Titans have lost their Junker Queen, but they still have a couple of people on the point. Can they stall out for a little bit longer? It doesn't look like it. Kilo gets a double kill, and the San Francisco Shock. Okay, Masa's still killing people. Okay, eventually gets taken care of, but 40% of the ball for the Titans.
Hey, and not before Masa takes out Finn as well. So you know that that Brig is off the board, and if you are fast enough with the Lucio to get the speed boost, then maybe Vancouver Titans can move back into this one before Finn is able to come back and activate that rally to get that overhealth started and generated. But Vancouver, yeah, they walk away with 40% here. They get to re-engage with the rally too, so they're gonna be coming in fast.
Here comes the ults. No more neutral fights, more flashy plays. Mira takes a headshot and has to back off. Commanding Shout is going to keep him alive in that fight, though, as Kilo tries to find a headshot on the sidelines. King ends up finishing off Violet, and now the San Francisco Shock do not have a beat to follow this fight up, but it doesn't matter because Proper's on the case. Kilo all the way in the background. Overcharged, overclocking, and the San Francisco Shock, despite losing Violet, who had a support ult, managed to win that fight.
Yeah, I mean, Finn got back in time, able to use the rally and make sure that the sustainability was there to keep the Shock alive, but it ended up being quite an expensive fight for them. That was 3 ultimates that they had to throw at the Titans in order to make sure that they could keep control. So now Titans get to come back with a Blade and maybe even the Rampage if Mira's able to work up to that one. The sound barrier from Violet might not be enough.
Oh, Aspire's 1 HP, maybe a single pack. There's the Blade. Violet uses the beat, hits all 5 members of the Shock, but King's still trying to burn down Finn, and he does so quite successfully. The Rampage from Kalush is quite large. Aztec and Aspire in a whole heap of hurt, but it doesn't matter because King pulls a Blade, gets the reset onto Kilo, and the Vancouver Titans take those ults that the Shock thrown at them with ease.
Where did that sound barrier go? Violet hit the beat, and I didn't see anybody get overhealth from that one.
He did end up getting 5, but King was doing so much damage with the Blade, it looked like absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it just kind of expired super fast. But that was really nice value there from King. He always seems to get 2 or 3 people with those Dragon Blades, so he's definitely living up to that hype there, but Masa goes off.
Okay, taste your own medicine, I think there, Masa. 4v5 on the point. King's super low. You've got Aztec, but he needs to use those packs for someone else. King tried to go for a flank and get healed in time, and the San Francisco Shock now just have to push the Titans off the point. Aspire at least kills 1, is able to stay alive for a little bit longer, but the Shock are just overwhelming the Titans. Stall game is all that they really want to do. 79% to now 80 for the Shock and building. It's one more fight now.
Yes, there is. And when you take a look at the fact that Finn has the rally, you can just go ahead and make sure you're getting that overhealth generated before Vancouver even move in. But Aztec has one too, so it really comes down to what Proper and Kilo can do with these DPS ultimates. It's all about the Blade.
Can that Blade come up in time? For Proper, looks like it. Rally from Aztec, rally from Finn, and now Proper. He's got to take care of Aspire, who's been opening up these fights more often than not. He turns his attention to him, but Aspire and the rest of the team managed to peel for him. Proper pulls out the Blade, King and Aspire now already dead. The Vancouver Titans just cut directly in half. Master's beat only hits him, and the San Francisco Shock are going to take round number 1.
That was some impressive play coming out there from Kilo and Proper, but what a close first round here that we've had on Lijiang. Vancouver putting up a heck of a fight, being able to get that 79% capture progress on the point, and I think we're also seeing those nice moments from Vancouver Titans that we expect. Aspire getting those opening picks, King as well getting high value from the Dragon Blades, but I think Shock is just beating them to the punch on these DPS ultimates where Vancouver just hasn't had the answer for this first round.
Yeah, Masa going down there too to Finn. Can't build up that beat quick enough. Used it just for himself. It's pretty rough. We're going on to our next round, of course, though. No changes. Who's a real surprise? Aspire's always going to be playing on the Sojam. No Ashe to be found. In fact, I think Kilo's going to do the same thing, right? Unless we go to Junktown or something.
Yeah, maybe hybrid map for sure, but we're just going to go ahead and meet in the middle here for the neutral.
Yeah, nice disruptor field from the San Francisco Shock. Well, it doesn't do crazy amount of damage. You can still like speed through it, it's whatever. But the Shock do use that space and time to get to the point first. Proper going pretty low, and Aspire trying to find these openings. That's how the Vancouver Titans have found so much success, but he needs to replicate that versus the Shock. Easier said than done, as Master ends up going down first. Look at Kilo just charging off of the headshots onto Mirror. It's quite a quick and clean fight for San Francisco. They end up capping.
You can see exactly how that disparity in the sound barrier charge plays out here as well. Masa going down so early, 30%. Violence at 70? That is so fast for a sound barrier to be charged in this meta. So now you know that you have a great answer, a great engagement tool when the Titans come back in.
Yeah, it's whether you, I guess, depends how fast it takes King to build that blade. But Violet will definitely get his ult online first if they use an aggressive beat engage. Us is super low. Proper almost went for a little one combo there with the right click and the dash. A lot of damage being reflected by Proper. Kilo's falling pretty low. And now Violet's going to use that beat so early. San Francisco Shock, with the overwhelming health advantage, are going to be able to run over Titans. They earn themselves, what, a rally here, a double DPS ult coming up pretty quickly. Titans need to come back with something big.
I mean, this is big for the Shock as well. You know that you're going to be outpacing King right now, so you can use the sound barrier a bit more aggressively. And you also knew that Finn was going to have the rally online for this next engage. When Finn has been so good with these shield bashes and these flails, I don't know if you're as concerned about King getting the blade.
Double rally. Oh, Kilo oversteps his mark just a little bit. Vancouver Titans very happy with that kill. Proper deflecting a lot of that damage, but he's still got the blade. Commanding shout from the San Francisco Shock has already been used, and Proper goes pretty low. He does get double packs, but look at that huge ult from Kalush. He does manage to get the backline, but King pulls the blade and takes care of him. Can he find the resets? They've isolated one person in Finn, but he just shield bashes away. And in fact, Titans are going to pile on this pressure with a beat on top of that rally. A headshot from Kilo, using that overclock, but the Shock are more than happy to fight this. 86% in building, and they've even picked up Mirror. Titans do manage to find that flip, but they haven't got that front line now, Rose.
No, and that this was huge from the Titans as well. They denied Proper the entirety of the Dragon Blade.
King super low, no deflect. Oh, Kilo. Nice little left hook. The San Francisco Shock did end up losing the point, and Titans have managed to keep themselves in this one by flipping, but now the San Francisco Shock are in a position where they can just take this entire map.
At least you have that Rampage available, and there's not a great answer on the Shock. You don't have the rally or the sound barrier, but can they get there in time to use it?
Commanding shout from Mirror. King is going to trigger overtime. Not going to go for the cap because he needs to help the rest of his team. That Rampage from Mirror is good. It did hit 3 and takes care of Kilo. And now it's Proper, the man of the hour. And Finn in the front line too, his own personal bodyguard. But actually Titans end up going for this flip. But they haven't got the numbers now to fight in the front line against the San Francisco Shock. Proper luckily had that climb up, but it's now Aspire doing the dirty for the Titans, but they got no heals, no support. The San Francisco Shock, they lost the point yet again mid-fight, but they're going to find the reflip, and maybe Masa gets back just in time. He gets booped off, triggers OT. Aztec kills Proper. They're coming back in. King gets on the point once again to re-trigger OT, but there's 2 support ultimates from the Shock that should be able to waylay them. Aztec goes back with a rally, but no, instantly killed by Kalush. That'll be it. No more support ults, no more health bars, no more players for Titans. The San Francisco Shock will take map 1.
Such a risky play there as well to send King over to the point to try to flip it when they were playing in the front lines. That was a rough one, especially if you aren't going to be able to get the win there. You know you're playing a 4v5.
Oh, the little Kalush cutouts that Shock fans have got in the audience. Okay, I see you. I see you. Kalush typing beef for my ults, not going to lie in the chat. We'll see if he can match Huddy's press up. So maybe we're a press up competition at some point. I hope
maybe.
So. I hope so. Another Kiss at LAN experience? I don't know. We have one in Hawaii, maybe another one with Huddy. All right, we're going to jump to a quick break. We'll see if Titans can come back after this. We'll see you in a sec.
2019 Overwatch League champions! Whoever said lightning doesn't strike twice has never met the San Francisco Shock. There's a depth of talent on their roster that can't be denied.
Some of the most hardcore carry performances that I've ever seen.
This is going to be a wild ride.
Somehow Vital's going to come to the rescue, get a double kill. Blue says, how about that one, Chief? See you later.
Dude, his aim is so crispy.
Finn doesn't miss those. Holy cow.
Sam straight the backline, insta-killing. Oh, Mikey!
San Francisco, the greatest team in Overwatch.
Welcome back. Shock up a map already against another Canadian team. Vancouver Titans still have a chance to come back. We're going on to Hybrid as our next game mode.
Hybrid is an interesting one as well because as we talked at the top of the show, Kilo, the hit scan for San Francisco Shock, has had this tendency of switching between that Sojourn and the Ashe. And it's on Hybrid that we typically see Kilo go for that Ashe pick. But how does that fare against King's Genji? Ashe can be very oppressive with the Dynamite specifically because it forces you into this weird position where the Blades, you just might not have enough health to get them to work.
Yeah, I mean, King's doing pretty well with the Blades so far. For another rookie that's coming late in the season, yeah, stats are looking pretty clean. And they knew it was going to be a hard game. It's how far they can really take the Shock. How far can they push them, maybe to their breaking edge. Aspire too has been coming up pretty big on these first blows, or first blood, sorry, in a lot of these fights. We're going to Midtown by the looks of it. It was a Vancouver Titans pick.
Yeah, so maybe they have something up their sleeves, knowing that we might see this Ashe pick and how that does interact with the Genji. I feel like there has to be some strategy involved, but when you look at the record so far of both of these teams on Midtown, it's pretty 50-50. It's literally 3-3 for both of these teams.
Playing to a strength probably a little bit better in this kind of situation, rather than playing to Shock's weakness, then you play your own game.
Like the rollouts for Titans and the way that they control territory is definitely really good on this map. When you look at how they rotate to that first point, a lot of the time you will see them maybe try to skirt around some of that damage by going through the building, and they just seem to really understand the architecture of this map.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot harder on first to get a lot of value with the Ashe. There is a few nice sight lines, but you can get to that point so easy with the Lucio, like it's kind of gross. However, look at this. Little bit of Ana action.
Oh.
I ain't seeing Twilight. I'm seeing Finn pulling out the Ana. Okay, on the defense. This is actually something that Mayhem ended up doing. They went double flex support with the Zen and the Ana, but it's actually Violet staying on the Lucio instead, taxiing around people. Oh, trolled. Actually trolled?
They thought about it a little bit more, maybe.
Trolling stick?
We'll see.
Fit?
Well, okay. I was going to say, though, I think in this scenario, Kilo has been popping off so much on the Sojourn that you may as well just continue to go for that railgun accuracy and those charged up shots. It has been hitting different for the Shock, and when you have these nice long sight lines, you get a chance to just charge that up quickly, maybe get a quick pick, and set Titans behind if you keep them at bay on the defense.
Okay, what you got for us, Aspire? Where are these first bloods? Quick rotation from the Vancouver Titans. Going in the alleyway in the back. Oh, look at Kilo, already pretty charged up. Master's alone in this corner. Just trying to do his laundry. He does boo Kilo out the way. He's done washing. Now trying to look to wash the Shock. Kilo taking a lot of damage though, and King's right above him. Where did King even come from? Descending from the rafters like Spider-Man. Proper's also pretty low. Targeting Finn, good priority for the Vancouver Titans as they've made the way to the point already. Aztac goes down to Proper, but they end up training their Briggs as Mira's found Finn. And now King just finding a lot of dash resets on these assist kills on the San Francisco Shock. Proper still pretty low, somehow alive, 70% towards that blade. King not too far behind.
Well, Kilo is back now as well, so you know that you still have that long range available. Titans do have to disengage from this just a little bit to buy some space and time for those cooldowns to come back online, but the aggression!
They're rushing straight to spawn. They knew Finn was just about to come back alive. and they take care of the Brig with ease. The Vancouver Titans now pushing forward. They have the beat way before the San Francisco Shock have found any of their ultimates. Proper is behind them, getting a little bit of chip damage, but now they know where he is. Can the San Francisco Shock hold on long enough?
Well, it looks like they're going to be focusing down Kilo and Proper right now, taking the damage out of the way.
Beautiful knife kill from Mira across the map. The San Francisco Shock still using that beat. They know Proper's got that blade so soon. He's not really got too much backup though, and he's already used Deflect. He's still got the dash, but uses it to get to safety. 3 ticks on the board for the Titans as they take point A.
Oh, and they're going to chase him down too. Look at this. Shock might not be able to get away.
Are they going to get more stagger kills? They've lost their Lucio. Free ult charge for the Vancouver Titans here.
Yeah, I think it's the Disruptor shot did keep Vancouver Titans from aggressing too far onto the Shock. So it was a really nice play from Kilo to make sure that they were able to get away. But the Titans, they haven't used any ultimates right now. They've got 5 in the bank here coming up.
San Francisco Shock popping a couple of their own. There's the blade from King. He's got that beat to back up to Finn. Cut down, both supports dead. San Francisco Shock torn apart. The Vancouver Titans on such a good point now. They can put a Spire up on high ground, and they've got 2 more ultimates to rely on.
I mean, look at the ult economy. Shock's ult economy is in shambles. They used both of the support ultimates there from Finn and Violet to no value. King's Blade just got a ton of progress. And now you see the cart rounding the corner, and this is a great setup for the rally.
There's the rally. Slowly but surely, that overhealth is building up. Spire pops the ultimate. He does get pulled towards Kaluge, but a beautiful air shot from Aspire takes care of Proper. He looked like he was going for that blade, but now can't use it. A double rampage from Mirror hits the back line of the Shock, and now they're in trouble. The Vancouver Titans handling Shock like clay on a potter's wheel. The Titans just running them down as they claim the 2nd point in record time.
I know, look at that. 4.5 minutes on the clock, and King and Aspire is kind of playing a different game here. Yeah, Proper's gonna go ahead and stop them for a little bit, but Shock still don't really have the power right now in order to keep the Titans from this respawn advantage that they have. They're still gonna get inches of progress as they wait for the rest of the reinforcements to come back.
I guess at least Shock have a little bit of a forward position. Proper's still yet to use his blade. They know Titans don't have any support ultimates at this point, as they used them in this last fight. It's when the San Francisco Shock want to go in, that's the question. It's probably just waiting on Titans. Commanding, rallying cry has already been used. There's the boop onto Proper. Blade been pulled, instant kill onto Master. Nice little reset, that's a lot of damage with that blade. The Shock managed to follow up. And now Kaluge peeking his head out of those doors, but you've got to be careful. Mirror's waiting on the other side. Finn now back to spawn, and the Vancouver Titans just taking advantage of this over-aggression from Shock.
They really are overextending right now, and Titans are gonna punish that, absolutely. And especially when you've got that respawn advantage too, Shock just cannot overextend like that. So now you're in this position where Titans, they're gonna round this final corner, but Violet, Finn, they've got the double support ultimate here. They have at least that sustainability. Can they use these aggressively? They're not really looking at having to respond to anything right now.
There you go. There's the push from Vancouver Titans. At the helm is Mirror, who's going exceptionally low. Yep, rally from both teams. Pretty hardy now. It's just a little bit more of a stalemate. Aztec was stepping up there. Look like he wanted to give Finn a little headbutt, maybe. All right, rounding this final corner. Both rallies out. Overhealth going to disappear in a moment. It's going to be on the Sojourns and the Genjis to find these openings. But once again, Vancouver Titans trying to set their own pace. Kilo on the sidelines. He's got a good angle, but can he make it work? Of course he can. Master in his sights, taken care of quite easily. But Aspire with the outplay. Just with vanilla Sojourn. He didn't need any of that, but Proper. All the meanwhile, Aspire was looking at the front line. Proper, eagle eyes on Master, and Aztec takes care of them. But still, 2 minutes and 20 seconds for Titans on this last corner. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all, especially when you look at the fact that they have the Rampage, the Dragon Blade. Of course, they have the Overclock too. Aspire's been absolutely nutty on this map. And now you can see that after forcing out both the Rally and the Sound Barrier, these DPS ultimates, they could just pop off and get Titans the full cap here.
There's the ultimate from Mirror. Only hits Kilo, and they focus him down. perfect synergy from the Titans thus far. King ends up pulling the blade as Mira does end up falling. But like you said, it's the DPS from the Titans. That's who you got to watch out for right now. Aspire's already taken care of one and making Finn look 17 different directions to try and escape Aspire's wrath and save the rest of his team at the same time. A tough job at the best of times, but the San Francisco Shock are going to be able to regroup. They're spawned close, they're spawned pretty damn close as the Titans' time bank is dwindling.
Well, you're waiting as well for Mirror to come back, but now that he is back into the fray, you can absolutely go in with a commanding shout and that speed boost, just rush at the Shock.
All right, Proper with a blade of his own. He's got that overhell. Look at the assertiveness in the corner. Look at the Titans, though. They just run him down. Every single member of the Titans was looking directly at Proper, stopping him getting value from that blade. Still got to pay attention to Kilo, though. But the problem is that the Shock are just kind of hinting onto the front line, just into the grasping arms of Mira, who's taking this any day of the week. These carnages, this axe swings hitting like 3 or 4 people at a time. The San Francisco Shock are going to have to come back as Doom. Violet didn't even use the beat in that fight, and they managed to get the cap.
Yeah, I mean, Kalush, yeah, even coming back on the Doom Fist. You hope that you could get there in time, but the way that Mirror was able to keep himself alive with all of those carnages and, of course, that wound, you get so much health back that Mirror was just unkillable in that last fight. Super impressive. It was just a crazy.
They just all dove to that back portion of the station.
Wow,
and Mirror was just like, I'd just be swinging. Yeah, it's a lot of damage.
Yeah, I like how it's like, yeah, Genji has a sword, but I have a giant axe.
Yeah, exactly. Which one's bigger? Well, this time it was Mirror's.
I think it's going to be the axe there. I don't know. But what an impressive showing from the Titans as well. I think you got to give them a lot of credit for how well they've been able to focus down a lot of the ultimates that have been coming out from the Shock. The proper blade into the final fight was definitely a great example of that. But maybe this is the replay. Oh, look at Masa.
Little Masa gameplay. I don't mind that. Oh
no, Kilo.
I didn't see that, and I'll pretend I didn't see it.
Yeah, unfortunate. He used the sound barrier, but the latency, he also got Skeet shooted out of the sky there.
Rather unfortunate. Unlucky.
Seeing a bit of a switch up though as Titans start to take the defense. Aspire, also a player that, you know, has had a little less time on the Ashe than Kilo, but we have seen the Titans pull out this Ashe pick when they are on the defense specifically of these hybrid maps. So Aspire definitely going to be playing, trying to get those big dynamites, and if Shock aren't careful, where they end up approaching the point, like if they go through some of these buildings or, you know, just kind of those smaller openings, that is a great target for those dynamites, and Aspire will get a lot of value. But Kilo sees that, decides to go back and match the Ashe.
All right, going for that. Going for the straight mirror. Okay. Love to see it. It's funny because we're talking about how Aspire's never going to change to Soja, and then he brings out the Ashe. Maybe a little
Seen it a few times.
Secret DP source. Oh, diffed. All right, Aspire takes care of Kilo.
Yeah, big reset here now for Shock. And you can see just how effective Aspire's Ashe has really been in this matchup so far. Not only getting a pick on the Kilo, but also 50% towards a Bob already. That's really big when you're playing on the defense, especially on Midtown, because there's so many different avenues that you can shut down with the Bob. Maybe play it by the fire truck, and then where does Shock have to go? You funnel them directly where you want them to be.
Mira's playing a little bit of a goalkeeper there. Trying to stop. Oh, Jesus, does get cleaned up. King, again, just lurking in the shadows. Feels like Midtown's really his map. Shock really aren't paying attention to him, and they both trade their Ashe players. San Francisco Shock have wrapped around the Vancouver Titans and put themselves on the points. But remember, the spawn position from Titans is pretty damn close. A tick already gained from the Shock, and now they pile on the pressure. They use that beat to push them forwards, but they've got to worry about Titans who are using that rally. Master's 25% away from his own beat, but Vancouver Titans need to be able to touch. They do in the end, as they send Master forward with the backup of Mirror. A lot of dynamite damage from Aspire as he earns himself a Bob, and the Titans waylaying the Shock again. Master with a couple of clean kills. Half the time bank disappeared.
That was such a long fight as well, too.
Okay.
I mean, look at that. You're also looking at the staggers onto the Shock. Aspire had patience at the very end of that, too. You know, not panicking that the Shock were still on the board. So now he still has the Bob to use for this next fight. Territorial control. You know that King has the architecture of this map down. Those blades have been massive. And even just in the neutral, King has been able to go slash and dash here. He's going to the back now, trying to find a place for the blade.
Yeah, you see those pings coming out. The Vancouver Titans know exactly where Kilo is. There's the rally from the Shock. Remember, Kilo is not with the team right now, so it's a 4v5 on the point, and King is just paying attention to Kilo, making sure he can't pop his little head out. He eventually is going to get back to the rest of his team, but Rose, that overhealth from the rally has just disappeared now. Okay, Bob comes out, but a perfect whip shot actually from Aztec. He ends up pushing the Bob away so it can't get maximum effectiveness. It does though, because King ends up diving to the back line and Bob cleans him up. There's Kilo with the dynamite damage, and eventually the San Francisco Shock are going to get this one rolling.
Still though, Titans able to whittle away so much of that time bank. So now Shock, they do have 3.5 minutes, but you're really looking at them trying to cycle through the sound barrier and that rampage when Mirror has one on the other side. Mirror's rampages have been huge, hitting 3 or 4 people. And I think Mirror's been a very underrated Junker Queen coming into this tournament. So can Mirror do it again, set themselves up for success? If Shock go down the stairway as well, Mirror has the perfect sight line to hit a huge rampage, and then maybe the sound barrier is just useless from Violet.
Oh, Proper is just being rather annoying right now. Oh, almost gets double tapped by Aspire. Dynamite's still doing a fair bit of damage, as it looks like the Vancouver Titans still want to play at their own tempo.
Yeah, so you can see that they're just setting up, and Shock just kind of jockeying for position here as well around the payload, but Mirror's going in.
Mirror's got one. The beat from the Shock is the perfect response, but Titans trying to keep themselves competitive in this one, but it ain't gonna matter. That rally does absolutely nothing against that anti-heal. Kilo with a 2-man dynamite kill, and the Shock win that fight. A better Rampage does it in the end.
Yeah, I mean, Mirrors was okay, but Kalush's was just bigger. And now as well, Shock just that they got exactly what they needed out of that. The sustain and the damage to be able to look at the ultimate economy being in their favor. The rally from Finn being online, Aspire's Bob at this point too is not really as effective as you would like it to be. There's too much open territory, so we'll see.
To Bob, holding down the police car there. As Aspire takes himself to the top of the bus stop. Look at this. The Vancouver Titans, though, have managed to isolate Kalush. Almost a perfect pick. If they can find more staggers, Rose, they might be able to make this one-fight territory. Yes, Finn goes down, Kilo, Violet gets out alive, same with Proper. A lot of mobility on those characters, of course, but wait, Violet's still burning? He goes down to Aspire? That's even more time off the bank.
It's not even that as well. Titans at this point are trying so desperately to get some type of ultimate on the board. If they've been tracking these correctly, they know that Kilo and Proper are ready to use their ultimates, and Finn has that rally to start building up that overhealth. Aspire with those dynamites, King with those shurikens, maybe gonna get a Dragon Blade online.
Okay.
Big pick?
Yeah, not sure what happened there. A couple of Cheerios. Violet didn't want that for breakfast. 57 seconds to go. The Vancouver Titans are in a fairly good spot. Like you said, Rose, still building up to a lot of those ultimates. And the Shock have to wait for reinforcements. But look, Vancouver Titans might just go in. Proper is touching the payload. But it's a 45 on the point. King pulls the blade. Kalush is his target. Next is Violet. Couple of resets for the Genji. And with 30 seconds to go, the San Francisco Shock are gonna have to rely on the 3 ultimates they currently have in the bank. This is last fight.
You hope that Violet can get the sound barrier online if you are a Shock fan. Maybe the rally is enough to sustain them to get to that point where you can just have the sound barrier as an extra insurance policy, but Aspire with another Bob. It was good against the police car.
Yep, rally coming up from Aztec 2. There's the Bob, big dynamite, and Kilo's already dead. King finds the opening pick. The Shock used the rally to get onto the point, but Bob has joined the action. It's a 6-on-4 on the point. The beat from the Titans to stop Proper doing any damage. He eventually goes back in as he receives the beat from Violet. Kilo is alive and well as he's coming back from Spore, but his team might already be dead before he even gets there. Collusion finished off. The Vancouver Titans are going to do it. Mira takes 3 kills. The Bob jumps over the payload. Not where you want to see it go as overtime ticks down. The Titans tie up the series.
Yeah, wow, the Titans. They knew exactly what map they wanted to take the shock to on Hybrid. They did not allow that Ashe to be the bane of their existence. King popped off, just completely ignored the dynamite damage that was coming out from Kilo. And the Titans, there you go. We've got a series on our hands.
It felt like a King diff, that is for sure. King showing up big. We know we had a lot of potential coming into the season. Aspire stepped up for the Vancouver Titans. In fact, the entire team in general has been stepping up and taking a map off the San Francisco Shock of all teams. What a good start. We're tied up. We're going to escort as our next game mode. It is Shock's pick. We'll see you in a bit.
may have just done it right now.
Oh, that was a good one from Smoke. They back right into it.
Mira is the tip of the spear, and the follow-up is there.
Rotation deployment to WGS Phoenix winning the fight.
Saved by Aztec drop.
Oh, even Scale instantly deleted.
Oh my goodness. A little bait and switch, huh?
The Vancouver Titans, they take a map off of one of the most dominant teams in Overwatch League history. After coming into the Summer Showdown qualifiers with 0 wins, they're now on the stage live in Toronto, and they are one apiece against Shock.
And like that first map was actually pretty close, despite it being a 2-0 scoreline. And then you look at how much of a blowout Circuit Royale, or excuse me, I was looking into the future. But yeah, just how much of a blowout as well that Midtown was. It's pretty big.
It was pretty big. Little cheeky wave too. I'll take this. We'll take this. Yeah, we are going into Escort as our next map. It was Shock's choice, and we are going to. You spoiled it, but it's fine.
I spoiled it.
Yeah. We're going to Circuit Royale.
And this is a really good pick for Shock because they have a record of 7-1 on this map so far for the season. And it knows in different metas. A lot of it was based off of Kaluja's Sigma. But now it's all about the Junker Queen, and you know that they still have a good understanding of how they want to play this map. Not only that, but Vancouver Titans as well. They don't have as much experience on this map.
It was all King in Midtown. This map a little bit different in terms of layout. You're expecting the hit scan players to really come alive here, so I think Titans fans looking to what Spire can bring to the table. And against the Shock too. Like you said, they are very dominant on this map. A lot of that came from Kaluja's unbelievable Sigma play in that Sigma meta. Well, I guess it wasn't a Sigma meta, it was just only Circuit Royale on this map.
Yeah, Circuit Royale was just Sigma and Widowmaker permanently.
Yeah.
We don't have that anymore, unfortunately. But we still have the Sojourns with the charged up railgun shots. True. So that's pretty fun as well. But we can talk at least about the Shock on the defense. No surprises here. Kilo's going to stick to the Sojourn, and I love this choice because you still have those long sightlines to use, despite the fact you don't have the grapple hook from the Widowmaker to be able to get you those aerial shots. But it's still going to be super effective with this closer hold as we see Shock setting up to be able to spawn camp the Titans.
Yeah, a little cheeky stuff. We've seen a lot of different strats coming out from attackers. Okay, teabagging at the door. All right, okay, well. And we've seen people use teleport. We use speed out the left-hand side door. Looks like Titans are going to offer the sim. Just hopefully a speed and getting a kill. Maybe. It's pretty tough too. There's a lot of hiding spaces for the Shock to kind of hide around these cars, the F1 car, and obviously the building.
Yeah, but is that going to be enough defense for the Shock? You can already see that Kilo is actually being pressured out by King. King has just been doing such a good job of making sure that Kilo can't find maximum value, but it's going to be a big reset here.
Yeah, it didn't look both ways when he was crossing the street there. Spire and Kilo in a little honorable 1v1, or no, not quite so honorable as Spire gets healing. Same with Kilo, who's 20 HP as he backs up.
Got stuck on the bush though, so yeah, definitely has to
RP Violet again. Wow, how's Master landing these headshots with his cheers? I don't know. Proper takes care of Aztec, but look at this, King's online. 4 kills for the Genjis.
That's
6 kills in total.
Look, that's just going to start padding his stats even further. On Midtown alone, King had 16 final blows, 7 Dragon Blade kills, and that was almost double what Proper had on the Genji. And so King off to another blazing start, despite the fact that they have been stopped at the spawn doors. They are starting to get that cart rolling, and they might even have a sound barrier to boot. Still looking at kind of a neutral fight, though.
Proper's still pretty low. What can King do? See, Proper's farmed way more. King's got a lot of kills, but 90% on the blade for Proper. In the neutral with the Shuriken's accuracy kind of unmatched. Nice little double dash there, and that should earn him a blade in just a couple of moments. Master's got that beat online pretty quickly too. There's the blade. Master hitting that beat. Aztec almost went down, but Master came in clutch. Another beat, this time on the San Francisco Shock side. A nice little perfect deflect from King, stopping that blade from killing him. But Spire falling is not good. Titans still want to pile on this pressure with a rally, but King going pretty low. Aztec takes care of Proper, and in fact, it's more of an even duel now. It's really Kilo being the difference maker. Mira, he's the one you're looking at to do the damage, but the San Francisco Shock have the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, the firepower was off the board, but Aspire is back now. Maybe he's going to get the overclock online and start pushing them back.
Nice disengage from the San Francisco Shock. Overlock comes online. Kalush running for the hills. Kilo just dicing with death. Trying to take the size, take out Aspire, but got body shot. Healed up, though, by Finn, who's also returned. And there's the rampage from Mira. Kalush was already dead on the ground before Proper and Violet got antied. Kilo trying to make a hero play with an overclock of his own, but the Titans in a nice time, cap point A.
You're still looking at the Dragon Blade from King, too. Yeah, I mean, Kalush has been maybe struggling a little bit with the rampages on that first map. You saw it in the chat, you know, it said maybe beefed him a little bit, but has been getting better and better as the series progresses. And when you look at the Shock having this high ground advantage as well, no matter what kind of avenue the Titans take, that is a perfect lane for the Rampage to go down. So Kalush definitely looking at trying to get a big one, but look at how the Titans are playing, they're split up.
Right, the commanding shout's already been used. King has got that blade in his back pocket. They have to go quickly though, because Violet pretty good at putting up these sound barriers fast. Over the last couple of maps, he's really just peg master to the post in the beat proficiency, or at least building them up. A couple of headshots, and now, ooh, King. That is a body shot you're going to feel tomorrow. The Vancouver Titans here with a ginormous ultimate from Kalush. Yeah, his rampages now looking a little bit better.
Yeah, that was really, really good. I know that the high ground helps a little bit, but King just got pressured out so much. You could see him posturing for the Dragon Blade, but just never really found an opportunity to use it because of how much focus Shock was putting onto him. They recognize he's a threat. They've got to take him out.
Here comes the blade from King. Yeah, matched with the beat from Violet. All the way back into Spawn. Spawn blade. You'd love to see it. He's not a player in ranked throwing, though. I can guarantee it. San Francisco Shock. Got to help Kilo. He's getting targeted, but another commanding shout comes out just in the nick of time as Kilo survives. Even Master trying to get some poop kills. But look, the payload's also moving backwards.
Yeah, I mean, Masa was just trying to help King stay alive, just going after maybe the escape, but couldn't get away. S-Key, not super effective as spawn is, so gonna go ahead and reset in there as they wait for the opportunity to use these double support ultimates. You gotta get the rally to get out of the door.
Oh my god, Proper setting up for a meaty dash. He does. He's got that blade already, but Spy takes care of Violet. Are the San Francisco Shock gonna stay in this one, even though they've got no Lucio? King goes down, so maybe they end up pulling the trigger on a couple of ultimates? No. Not enough healing. The payload, to be fair, has moved a fair bit back, and the Shock with a nice brutal spawn hold have cost the Titans a lot of their time.
Well, the Aspire as well just moved up to try to keep the San Francisco Shock at bay, buying some time, creating some space for that payload to move forward. But now it's about whether or not Proper can get back into this one. The stats aren't looking too good for him right now, but this blade is online.
Does it end now? Kilo's hoping it does. The beat from the Vancouver Titans as Kilo pitching a 10 on the high ground. The blade from Proper still manages to kill Mira. Even though he's antied, that meant absolutely nothing. Mira's ultimate, while clean, was just ignored by the rest of the San Francisco Shock. They take it in their stride and have put Titans in a precarious position. They got 30 seconds to go. They have to ascend the hill and get to the payload.
Well, Proper, he did such a good job. You know, Finn and Violet, they're always able to keep Proper alive. Finn saving those packs for Proper when he was going for the blade. But Kalush, once again, is going to have that rampage online. There's not really enough time for Titans to be able to get anything in terms of support to match this.
Maybe King gets blade 20%.
I don't know. It's 8 seconds, Jaws.
Beats. Rampage for Kalush. The San Francisco Shock have got all the tools they need. There's the Rampage. It hits 3, Aspire and Aztec. Oh, that was delivered with a ribbon on top. And that'll be it. That'll be Titans' push. Just before that second point, that orange box of victory will appear for the Shock on their attack.
Well, that second point is just so hard to attack as well. You've seen so many teams struggle with it, especially when you've got a Junker Queen that has been as good as Kaluj to lock down those corridors, and especially the main pathway. It's tough when you know that Kaluj has the Rampage online, because where do you go? There's not really a great way to escape from it. Give proper MVP and Rookie of the Year award.
Just give it to him already.
Yeah, he's earned
Look,
it.
King's showing up, okay? We're not at the end of the year just yet. Still a lot of time. Still a lot of time. But yeah, I mean, he really has been the man of the hour for the Shock, and all eyes are on him for the roster. I mean, it is crazy Shock come into a new season. They only have Violet as their returning player, and then they still put up results like this.
I mean, Proper is doing way better on this map as well. You know, he did get outpaced by King on Midtown, but is now looking at 15-9 versus King's 9-5. So basically just flipping the script here. He's got the double up now. Finn, what you got for us?
So talented, so handsome.
I know. It's not fair.
It isn't.
It's not fair.
Life is not fair sometimes. He's good at video games, he's good at piano, and he's a handsome lad.
All right, well, hopefully that helps him get the land buff to get out of the gate.
Jesus Christ. Are you really going to do Aztec like that, Proper? Reflecting Aspire's own railgun back into his head.
I was going to say, I don't know if you blame Proper or you blame Aspire for that.
God. Are you taking me seriously? Yeah, I am now. You're dead. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. The Shock with a nice little push out. You saw the Vancouver Titans there. They didn't have that aggressive spawn hold. They weren't literally teabagging out the doors. Maybe that's what you need, just show some glory.
Yeah, show the cojones right at the door, don't you? But I think it's like for the Titans as well, that you play a little bit more of a passive style. You see that they're not as ready to go into the Shock when they notice that Violet has that speed boost available. They just don't want to get run over. You don't want to overextend. They've been able to punish the Shock for that.
Yeah, and they did just that. You called it perfectly. Proper just goes around the statue, tries to get a small little flank, maybe on the Titans, get some additional damage down, didn't end up working out.
Well, that's why the Titans play that way, because they know that the Shock might do that. So they want to be in a prime position to be able to punish that, because this is not the first time that we've seen Shock overextend. Midtown was another great example on first point.
I mean, that cost them a series? Oh, not the series, the match. Jesus Christ. I'm not getting too ahead of myself.
No, there's no crystal ball here, excuse you.
I'm getting too ahead of myself there. All right, still a large chunk of time in the time bank for the Shock. 2 minutes and 30. Vancouver Titans are going to try and make them pay. King's pretty low. Reset dash from a Proper. And now, pedal to the metal for the San Francisco Shock. A lot of deflect damage. Proper's incredibly precise with these deflects. Yeah, Master, there's no hope in hell, my friend. I know, all right. Checkpoint unlocked. That orange box of victory just up that hill, and the Shock are going to push super far. And in fact, look, the Titans are split.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, look at they're not even out of spawn right now. I don't know if they're going to be able to get out.
I guess it's a quick reset. It's nice, but not really what you wanted to be. Ult's building for the Shock too. Looking at 5 coming up for this next fight.
Aspire has to come back, maybe with the overclock, but at this point, as the card starts to round the corner, you're running out of time. Masa is racing to get that sound barrier online. Aztec as well, just getting outpaced right now by Finn. Double support ultimates for the Shock to keep Proper's blade alive. This looks like a huge mountain to climb here for the Titans.
All right, there's the blade pull from King. Oh my God, meets Kilo in the air. The rally from the San Francisco Shock is still going off, so that overhead that is building, but Titans still have a man advantage. The Shock might not want to use any ults here, to be fair, Rose. They know they got a lot of time in the bank, and they go for a reset, just trying to draw ultimates out from the Titans, but Mirror has already fallen.
Mirror's fallen, and now you have to look at the fact that we're going to see the rally here from Aztec.
From Proper, where's that deflect now? Oh, he didn't get it in time! Okay, he wasted a couple of seconds, and now a beat from the Titans. It's fairly decent at keeping them in this, but they're not going to be able to push forward because they don't have their Genji. Kilo has pulled that overclock, Master ends up going down. The Shock use all of their ultimates. The Titans can come back into this, Rose.
Yeah, look at Mirror right now, trying to set up for the Rampage, but is he going to be able to get back in time? He's right at the corner.
Master has just spawned. They don't have a speed boost. Mirror needs to come up with something big, 4% away from that ultimate. But look, San Francisco Shock are so healthy moving on to that point. Aspire is already dead, and Proper just trying to waylay Aztec. Mirror lets leash with the Rampage, but it doesn't matter at all. The San Francisco Shock just ignore it. And they take map number 2. The Titans couldn't quite get checkpoint B. And the Shock now sitting at match point.
Yeah, that was a rough one for the Titans. The Shock just showing why they picked Circuit Royale as their escort pick. But that does go back to the Titans. So can they come up with another Midtown-esque type map that's going to play to their individual strengths of King, just making sure that he has those avenues to get those dash resets. That's what he's been so good at.
Well, they're not out. Still smiles on the face, that's what you want to see. They know the crowd's behind him too. We are still in Canada, of course, even though there are an enormous amount of Shock fans. We're going to go to a quick break. This is time for Titans to choose their map. We're more than halfway through the season, and it's time to keep collecting those OWL tokens because, guess what? The upcoming Team Mix legendary skins. So yeah, some of those legendary skins we released earlier this year, yeah, they're getting some team colors. It's going to be pretty sweet. Also, you can sign up for the Overwatch League newsletter. You get some bonus tokens. Yeah, it's only a limited offer, so go sign up right away. All right, Vancouver Titans versus the San Francisco Shock. Vancouver Titans are going to choose the map rows, and yeah, they are on home turf, somewhat, of course, being in Canada, but Kalush has got a lot of fam here.
Yeah.
10 plus of his family members showed up.
I think I heard.
His entire family tree is here, supporting the boy.
Can we hear the noise from Kalush's family right now for support from Kalush? Oh, I love it. That's so cute. Aw. You love supportive family for esports folks.
Love it. He's doing well too.
Yeah.
His rampages, yeah, maybe they didn't lose a great start of the series, but
they look way better now.
Way better.
Like that
very
was just
much in
such a
tune
shutdown.
with the way the Titans want to start playing now.
I think we've got Matt on the San Francisco train too.
Matt's on the goop.
Hold on. He's actually on the goop though. Get this. 14 plus 8. 14, August 14th, the date that the Vancouver Titans won, okay?
Yep.
At 22 plus 2 is the amount of maps played this series. Yeah, 14 plus 8 equals 22, plus 2 for the amount of maps that were played in the series, which
so
gives you a total 24.
Yep.
Divided by 8, because it's the second seed versus the 6th seed, so 2 plus 6 equals 8, which equals 3. So whoever wins the third map is going to win the series. So that was the shock.
So Matt is...
This is a very convoluted way of saying Shock is going to win the series.
He is off the goop.
This is insane.
I've never met a man more off the goop in my life.
Yeah, Matt, what are you
Mr. Matt Morello. Jesus.
Anyway.
I didn't know he could do maths. I'm going to be very honest with you.
This is an example of him doing math?
Yeah, not good math.
Okay. See, there we go.
Preschool math, maybe. I don't know.
Anyway.
Right. New Queen Street. Now, this was the pick from the Titans since they lost Circuit Royale.
And this makes a lot of sense, too, because despite the fact that up to this stage, Titans haven't won a series yet, they are undefeated on New Queen Street. They've got a 100% win record, 5-0. So, not to mention, Coliseo would have just been a bad choice for Vancouver, too. That's a great map for San Francisco.
Yeah, that's definitely the benefit when you reach that tournament, because you do get to choose maps even if you do go down 1 or 2. So Vancouver Titans, they ended up picking Midtown because they lost to Lijiang.
Are we going to go back and forth here?
Could be a
game 5. They might get a back and forth and get a map 5, that's for sure. But we are waiting for both of these teams to set up, see what they're going to lock in. It's going to be more of the Sojourn and the Mirror matchup so far for both of these teams. It's been a lot of Aspire versus Kilo and King versus Proper. Proper kind of evening up the stat score there between King. But
yeah, King really won it for Titans in Midtown. We'll see if he can replicate that.
They're going to be going over to the statue.
Oh yeah, crowd still behind the Titans. Master looking for a cheeky move. Oh, Finn, little dodge. Oh, not quite though, what? Finn fell off. He fell off. Okay.
No, dash wasn't good enough.
Apparently not. Goes in the drink. They do trade, they lose Master, but you take that trade any day of the week. Like,
I think so.
Losing a Brig, it's not good. And now Proper trying to open this one up further. Dashes in, uses the Reflect to get back to the rest of his team. But the Vancouver Titans, they do get that bot moving first.
I mean, you've got to back off if you're the Titans here. You have no disengage ability, but King gonna even up the score. Kilo is off the board.
Alrighty.
Look at that push, but go.
How the San Francisco Shock respond? Also, is Violet, this dude must be cheating. How has he got 80% to a beat?
He's just playing so aggressive right now, just getting in the backline of the Vancouver Titans, getting in their face, being such a nuisance. They can go in with an aggressive beat just like they did in one of our previous maps this series.
I mean, they got to know King's not really that close to a blade. You've not really had a full fight. It's been a couple of environmentals. All right, the San Francisco Shock have beat. I don't think Vancouver Titans expected that at all. They're just going to run forward with the beat and the speed boost. Oh, Kilo ends up lighting the dust though, and Proper's in trouble. Look at the turnaround from the Vancouver Titans.
It's almost like they expected that from the sound barrier. So now look at this, King just gonna go ahead and earn the Dragon Blade in this fight alone. Aspiring King now putting the huge numbers on the damage board and completely outpacing Kilo and Proper.
Shock who? The Titans might actually be getting the checkpoint. Only a few meters, and yeah, like you said, double DPS ult coming up. Aztec has got rally.
He could just pop that right away, get that overhealth before the Shock move in, but Proper is looking to go in, gonna deny it.
Perfectly called, there you go, there's the rally, and now Aspire's going head hunting. Kalush is already pretty low. Commanding Shout has been used, but Shock need to hold on. They're so close to that rally, but Kalush is already dead. Finn, Violet, they know they gotta save that rally, so they end up backing off, but the Titans, unrelenting in their pressure. They get that checkpoint and butt scratch mode initiated. Now they have the forward spawn too.
That's the biggest thing that the Titans have to get away with, because at this point, with that first checkpoint unlocked, Titans just have to play to keep the lead. And so it's all about survival at this point. Masa's sound barrier needs to be cut big to be able to contend with these double DPS ults here from the Shock.
Proper's already gone in. He is half HP and use that deflect and dash, not in a position where he needs to use the blade. And King cleans him up. The Shock have got a little space and do what Shock do best and try and win it out in a 4v5, but the way the Titans are playing right now, it looks like it's going to be impossible. Oh, cast to curse that a little bit as King gets knifed. Hey. Kilo using the overclock, finds one headshot already on Aspire, wasn't enough to end up killing him. Titans are still in the lead, mind you. And they don't have the forward spawn, no, but tussling and making sure this is a 5-on-5 is going to be a good spot. Both Rampages going out, Titans and the Shock backline in a whole heap of hurt. They do end up trading and going down, so it's going to be on the DPS. A nice little reset there from Proper. Dash, but then Aspire's coming up big too. Aspire kills 3 off screen. Proper's 19 HP, he can't go in. The Vancouver Titans getting the bot rolling again.
That was such a huge fight, though, for Shock to lose, because now they have 4 minutes off the board. They used a lot of important ultimates there. Kalush's Rampage was huge, but there just wasn't the follow-up. And by the time Finn went off the board, there wasn't a great way to keep Proper alive either to be able to get that blade damage. But they have a chance to come back now. They still have the blade, they still have the sound barrier, and Violet has been using these aggressively. He keep doing so here.
King was there, now he had disappeared. Put on that invisibility cloak. All right, they're shocked. They got blade, they got beat. Around in this corner, they know they can set up pretty well. Proper pulls the blade, already pretty low, but now he's got the beats. Yeah, 2 ults, easy fight win there. They can't. Look, Violet's already used 1v early and they end up getting run over. They needed something, a little cherry on top in Proper's blade to make that one work.
Definitely invincible Genji right there, but to what avail? Shock now, they're playing in the midpoint, but they've got nothing. They've got nothing for what the Titans have at the moment. Aztec's gonna go into this engaging with a rally.
And Kilo's pretty low. Aztec's in the front line. Okay, shield bashes the rest of his team to save himself. King jumping to the skybox, and the Vancouver Titans control the payload once again. Proper dead, a railgun to the chest. The Rookie of the Year, the MVP already, getting taken to town by the Vancouver Titans. The San Francisco Shock have gained 8 meters. The Vancouver Titans on 69 and a little bit.
And it's past the halfway point. We now have 4.5 minutes on the board. Shock just had to take an eco push there to be able to get this rally online. But the Titans, they have a better rotation. Masa with the sound barrier can use that against Kilo's overclock.
There's the rally, blade instantly pulled. They got to aim for that brick. There was a commanding shout mixed in with that too. So Finn is super healthy right now. King's blade did a fair bit of damage. That beat now from the Vancouver Titans wearing off. Finn's overhealth did enough for the San Francisco Shock to hold on, but King is just unrelenting. He's 9 HP and does need a pack to get healed up to full. The Vancouver Titans still in a decent spot. They've gotten the payload a fair distance. And like you said, Rose, we're over half the time bank disappearing, and Shock have got almost nothing on board. 8 meters versus 88. The Vancouver Titans come back with a rally and that Rampage online.
The Titans have done such a good job of forcing Shock to use ultimates when they don't want to. And so now you don't have that overclock anymore because Kilo had to use that as a zoning ult to at least break through. But they're still at the midway point now. They've got to get some meterage on the board.
Mira's trying to set up here. You see he's going for a flank, trying to line the rest of the San Francisco Shock up. As long as Violet doesn't get caught, they should be good. A nice pick off from Kilo and Proper. All right, okay. The Shock mean a business. They need a couple more fights though, to be fair, Rose, to even equal the meterage that Titans have gained.
They do need one more fight to be able to get that first checkpoint, but I think they're set up really well to do so. I mean, look at the ultimates that are available. Aztec actually got the rally completely negated because it got taken out before the overhealth could start to build. So get Proper. Very safe right now to go for this Dragon Blade, especially Kaluj is going to get... He's setting up for it.
Absolutely not, but he's still going to go in. Proper descending from the heavens. The holy light radiating from him, spotted a mile away. All right, there you go. The Shock, they pull the blade to get the checkpoint. A trade you'll take any day of the week. But Kilo, and an unbelievable ult from Kaluj. He hits 4 members of the Vancouver Titans, piling on the pressure. 4 kills for the Junker Queen. Mouth agape. I think he's a little bit shocked after he hit that one. The Vancouver Titans now in trouble.
That was a huge rampage, and that was just dominoes falling over for the Titans, but the Titans do have respawn advantage. They will be coming out very quickly here, and Mirror now gets a chance to fire back as well. So close to that checkpoint, though.
A bit awkward on the corner, though, you must say. There's the carnage. Rampage lined up pretty well. Violet's in trouble. He activates his sound barrier just in time. No Ajax here. That overhealth working out well for the San Francisco Shock, but King has saved his dash. Oh, he manages to get on the back line, and Kilo's dash somehow gets him away. He doesn't go down and receives that commanding shout to keep him alive and well. Proper receives a pack just in time, but he's behind the team. Can he provide a nuisance, maybe an opening for the San Francisco Shock? It doesn't look like it. 0.5 meters separates both teams right now as Titans win this fight.
And now that they've done that, the spot's going to be moving quickly back towards their side of the map to continue some of that progress. It's going to reach this halfway point before Shock are even able to come out of spawn. So now Kaluj having to try to catch up to where the rest of the Shock are. Aztec pop of the rally here could really keep them alive so that Kilo can't get these one-shots with this overclock.
Yeah, they're double DPS ult for the Shock coming up rather soon. Aspire has to win the fight in the neutral. He has to get a headshot on it on Kilo or Proper or one of the backline. There's the rally. Vancouver the Titans trying to make this one stick. The overclock. Kilo's got a perfect sightline. A couple of those right clicks actually reflected back. And the Titans, they got the overhealth and wait out Kilo's ultimate. Can they go for a re-engage before Proper gets his blade online? With 30 seconds to go, they're going to have to do something. The rally from the San Francisco Shock as they run on forward. Proper earns himself a blade, but doesn't want to pull it just yet. And no, he doesn't need to. Mirror Aztec Master already dead. There is 0.5 meters between Shock and a W here, and there's 15 seconds to go.
Titans, they've got the double DPS ultimates to come back. Violet has the sound barrier to be able to answer that, but it's about Kaluj's Rampage. That's what I'm looking at right now. Got a 4-man last time. Can he do it again? This next fight is for everything here, Jaws.
San Francisco Shock on match point. Eye set on Kaluj. The Rampage trying to line it up. He swings. Anonymous. Aztec King in trouble. Proper pulls the blade. That 0.5 meters is nothing for the San Francisco Shock. Kaluj standing proud. A 3-1 for the Shock. The Titans with a valiant attempt at taking down one of the most dominant rosters in Overwatch League history. But the Shock reigns supreme today.
Such a close match, though, as well from the Titans. If you told me maybe a few months ago that they were going to take a map off of the Shock, I wouldn't have believed you. But this was a close series. The 2-0 to start things off on our first map was actually very close, like 79 to 100 on both rounds. And then, of course, that slap on Midtown. That was a valiant effort from the Titans for sure.
Hugs all around. Jesus, Kaluj is tall. My God.
I feel like it's a bear hug every time, like he goes to hug a player.
I mean, a good start for the Shock. Yeah,
yes.
Like you said, it was a close game. And the Vancouver Titans still quite a formidable opponent. They'll drop down to the lower bracket. The Shock are going to advance. The winners of the Outlaws Mayhem game, which is after this one, will determine their opponents.
But the Shock needed a win here. I think this is a huge confidence booster for them, knowing how they performed on the last LAN that we had at the kickoff clash. That was a 4th place for them, and they want to take home the crown this time around.
They'll be more than happy with that, I think. And yeah, maybe family buff.
I think there's a family buff here, yeah, for sure.
Seems so. Looks like we've got Kaluj down on the stage. We'll jump to him in just a moment. But yeah, good start. They don't want to repeat of the kickoff clash. It's not what you want to see. They start off here with a W. Their opponent will be Outlaws or Mayhem, which is the next match. But I think we've got a little word from Kaluj down on the stage with Danny. Take it away.
Jonathan Necker, thank you very much. What is up, everybody? Danny Lim here, joined by Kaluj from San Francisco Shock. How tall are you?
Like 6'2".
6'2"?
Yeah.
It's okay, I just need to go like 6 inches. Hopefully I'll get as tall as you. Anyways, this match was, I think it was very back and forth. It wasn't a 3-0 for the San Francisco Shock, but at the end you guys did get the win. Were you surprised at all by how well the Vancouver Titans played against you, given that they're the 6th seed?
I feel like a lot of teams are underestimated in this meta. I feel like they're like they're more of like a top 4 team in my book. I think they had a few rough matches. They went map 5s. They could have easily went like 5-1 or 6-0. Okay. I don't think they were that underrated.
Right, but at the end of the day, it was the San Francisco Shock taking the W. So what gave you guys the edge for this matchup?
I don't know. I think we just came in. We had more experience because we played in Dallas, and it was their first time on stage, so.
Yeah, of course. And also, not only that, I also feel like you guys didn't have the hometown buff, but you had a special buff, and I think it's called the family buff. Yeah, you have your whole family here. So I don't know, like how did it feel to, just be on stage in front of your whole family? Did it, did you think that you got that buff, or was it sort of like, did it make you feel a little bit more nervous?
It kind of made me more nervous because, but it's all right. They're all supporting me. I appreciate them for coming out. Love you guys.
All right. That is it for the post-match interview, everybody. Give it up for Kaluj one more time. Thank you very much. All right, let's send things back to our casters, Jaws, and our birthday girl, Necra. Happy birthday!
Aw, thank you, everybody.
There's a lot of birthdays today. It's great.
I know.
It's a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, what? Chio, Gurio, Dallas Fuel.
Yeah, and yours.
Your girl here. So, yeah, it's great.
There's going to be a lot
great
of cake,
start.
I think. We'll have to see.
I like cake.
Well, look. Kaluj, yeah, maybe a little bit more nervous on stage, but like you said, the San Francisco Shock do have a little bit more experience. The Vancouver Titans did not make it to the kickoff clash. Well, they didn't even make it to mid-season. Like, this was the start of their run. The qualifiers where they eventually found wins. And even Kaluj said, look, I don't think they're that underrated. They're a top 4 team coming into it. Big words, and we'll see what the Vancouver Titans can do in the lower bracket. We'll see if they can make that run, but for now, the Shock, yeah, they're still the Shock.
Yes, they're definitely still a Shock, and one thing's for sure is the Shock have great players. So let's go ahead and look at our player of the match, and that is going to be Kilo.
Oh yeah, and we pegged like Aspire being this person that picks off a lot of people. Kilo not finding a lot of like first bloods or anything. That's more on proper side of things, to be honest. The amount of flanks he takes, but just the raw aim from this guy is it's just someone else. I remember watching him actually in some of the scrims from like before the season started. I'm like specking Kilo. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, how is this guy? His aim and like tracking on Soldier at the very start of the year is just unreal. And the Shock have made some killer acquisitions, and this is just one of them.
Yeah, I remember the same scrims as well, just like on Midtown, specifically with the Soldier 76, the tracking on those corners. Yeah, Kilo just has a great way of finding the perfect position to maybe take those off angles in a blind spot that their opponents just aren't looking at. You can see the stats there as well. The final blows per 10 is really what sticks out to me as well here. Maybe a few more deaths than what he would like, but these fights were happening super fast, and I think that's more of a testament to just how strong of an opponent Vancouver were.
Yeah, they were very scrappy.
Yes.
Let's be real. A lot of those fights were pretty scrappy, but yeah, Kilo's going to be our player of the match for the San Francisco show. We'll see if they can kind of keep that trend going. I mean, maybe it was a small stumble, or maybe it was Vancouver Titans kind of living up to that hype. Oh!
This for me?
Okay.
I have a cake! Aww.
Happy birthday, Nick.
Guys, I'm gonna cry.
There's no candles. I don't think we can have flame on the broadcast.
I don't think we should have a fire here. That's a very bad idea. Oh, thank you. We're gonna have to share this later.
Yeah, that's a lot of cake.
That is a lot of cake. I can't
That's a lot of cake. Yeah, there's just no way. I'm sure Mitch will devour that in a couple of bites.
I've seen him devour stacks of pancakes. That guy can eat, that's for sure.
Don't go to breakfast with Mitch ever. You'll never get any of your food back. Trust me. Trust me. Right, we're going to jump to a quick break. Outlaws and Mayhem coming up next. The winner will go against the Shock. It's a scary, scary thought. That is for sure. But the Mayhem also maybe pulling out something silly. We'll have to wait and see. After this break, we'll see you in a bit.